HCS Charlotte just finished over the weekend, and the action could not have been more intense. The stakes for this event could not have been higher, as this was the last opportunity for each team to stamp their ticket to Worlds. Only 16 teams would be able to qualify by the end of the weekend. Let's go through how it all shook out. At the beginning of the event, 12 teams had already qualified for pools and would begin their pool play matches. At the same time, 48 amateur teams would battle it out in the open bracket to see which 4 teams would qualify to join pool play as well. In the Passion Pit, this would be the absolute last chance for these players to prove themselves in Halo Infinite, as HCS is set to go on hiatus after Worlds. On the winner's side of the open bracket, Legion Gaming, a team of longtime grinders who have never made pools, would run into both Mindfreak, the #1 team out of Australia, and Akave Esports, the #1 team out of Mexico, who have routinely qualified all year. Shockingly, Legion Gaming would be on fire and 3-0 both Mindfreak and Akave, leading to an emotional pop-off for the team and all those who have followed their tumultuous journey. They finally made it.
It's ready, they're going! Acid, he has to hold on to, he gets the first, bomb is in, they're in the base, they're just seconds away! Oh, history! As complexion! Uzi, Susie, after years of turmoil and disappointment, they've finally done it!
The other winner's side qualification match would shape up between Darkenside and SWAT LATAM. Darkenside came out on top with a swift 3-0 as well. On the lower side, both Mindfreak and Akave would ultimately take the last 2 pool play spots from the open bracket. Pool play would get interesting. In Pool A, Optic Gaming so far had already gone 2-0, dismantling both Omit and Majin before Mindfreak joined their pool. It looked as if Optic would easily win their pool, but Mindfreak had other ideas.
20 more seconds, but Formal, another 2 in the feed. Formal's got 3! The armor! Oh, he doesn't get it, but he gets the assist nonetheless. But they're there. Mindfreak will have to run off their spawn, spring to the attack. Barcode's in! Barcode breaks. Where's Optic Gaming? They have to push your white tower. It's going to be one last push. They have to win it here. Oh my god. The backside flank comes through, but Rice comes through in the clutch. Lengy with a double kill. But he goes down! Mindfreak upset Optic Gaming in game 1!
The Australians' previous best ever placing at an international event was top 12, and they were most certainly the David versus the Goliath of Optic Gaming. In a thrilling series, Mindfreak would somehow overcome all odds and win game 5 versus Optic before going on to also win against Omit and Majin to finish pools 3-0. They become the first Australian team in history to go undefeated in pools. The rest of the pools would go mostly as expected, with Shopify, FaZe, and SSG winning their respective pools. Here's a breakdown of how things shook out. After pools, the championship bracket was set, and because Optic lost to Mindfreak, they would be paired against Shopify Rebellion in Winners Round 1 for the 3rd time this year. Just as they did at HCS Arlington and DreamHack Dallas, Shopify would send Optic to the lower bracket early to force them to work their way through the lower bracket to earn their rematch. In the past, this exact scenario would end with Optic fighting their way back to a grand finals rematch where they would win the whole event. Many wondered at this point if Optic was about to do it again for the 3rd time. Shopify would continue their streak with a clean 3-0 over SSG to secure themselves a spot in the winners finals. On the other side of the bracket, Mindfreak would finally cool off, losing to TSM without taking a map. FaZe would show good form, taking Envy in a 5-game series before also taking down TSM to claim the other spot in the winners finals. Taking a look at the elimination bracket, Optic would break the hearts of international fans by first knocking out EU's #1 team, Luminon Gaming, before moving on to eliminate Mexico's #1, Akave Esports, as well. The losers bracket momentum was real, and it felt as if Optic had finally found their form. The last international team to fall would be Mindfreak, as the Cinderella run finally came to an end against Rising Stars Team Envy, who have made waves this entire season and would not be denied another shot at top 4. Both Akave and Mindfreak made history for their regions with the first top 8 results their regions had ever seen. Top 8 also meant they had officially qualified themselves for the World Championship in Seattle in 3 weeks. The last couple of matches in the bracket on Saturday night would be the losers quarterfinal matches where Optic would 3-0 TSM and Space Station would 3-1 Envy to move on to Sunday. Before the end of Saturday though, more drama was yet to unfold. The last 4 spots at Worlds would be captured through the last chance qualifier where the best 8 teams who had not already been eliminated had to win just one more series. Unreal Nightmare, Majin, SWAT LATAM, and Legion Gaming would all rise to the occasion and stamp their tickets to Seattle. However, just hours later, Legion Gaming's IGL Gunplexion would be involved in an altercation in the venue and ultimately be banned from actually competing at Worlds. The ban has been buzzing on social media, but check out our latest episode of Alt Tabbed, where we do a deeper dive on the situation. After all the drama, Championship Sunday was set. The losers finals between Optic and SSG would be a one-sided affair, as Optic showed up on fire and speed ran a quick 3-0 for SSG to bow out in 4th place. On the winner's side, a similar story would take place as Shopify's momentum continued with a 3-0 over FaZe. At this point in the tournament, Shopify Rebellion had only dropped 2 maps throughout the entire weekend. The stage was set for Optic versus FaZe in the losers finals, and to say there's bad blood between these 2 rosters would be an understatement. At the end of last season, Formal made the shocking decision to drop Lucid, Trippy, and Penguin in order to rebuild Optic into the roster it is today. Now dressed in FaZe Red, that same trio sought revenge against their former teammate, but had yet to defeat the new Optic on LAN all year long. This day would be different. Game 1 on Fortress CTF, both teams would fight tooth and nail, but FaZe would close it out, winning 3 flag caps to 2. Optic would answer back, winning Street Slayer 50-47. Game 3, Recharge Strongholds would go back and forth as both teams refused to back down. In the closing moments, somehow Optic would come back from a deficit and win by a mere 3 seconds to go up 2-1 in the series. Back against the wall, FaZe would play lights out in Game 4, Livefire King of the Hill. Tied at 3 hills apiece, FaZe would need to capture the last hill to force a Game 5 and give themselves a chance at defeating their rivals. Somehow, FaZe would get control of the tower and hold an impressive setup to finally secure it. Game 5 on Aquarius Slayer would favor FaZe, who held a better record on the game type over the course of the season, and they wanted to show why. The game would start out close, but around the 30 kill mark, FaZe would begin to build some separation and go up by 9 kills. All they had to do was trade out kills to get to 50, but against Optic, that's always a tall task. Ultimately, FaZe would hold on to their lead, winning 50-40 to earn the sweet taste of revenge against the Revivals and a shot at winning the tournament. Grand finals were set. Shopify, the hottest team in the world, up against FaZe, a team who has been working to rise through the ranks since they formed. Being on the winner's side, Shopify would just need to win one more best of 7 to become back-to-back HCS champions and go into Worlds as the #1 seed. FaZe, coming from the lower bracket, would need to win 2 best of 7s to claim the same feat. Unfortunately for FaZe, Shopify would come out the gate swinging as they strung together 3 quick wins in a row without a sweat. Not ones to go down without a fight, FaZe won Game 4 on Aquarius Bomb with a clutch bomb arm and some strong defense. The high would be short-lived though, as Shopify would finally close out the tournament with a win on Solitude Slayer 50-45. Shopify win their 2nd event in a row, $100,000 and the #1 seed at Worlds. Psycho would be named the MVP of the event with his impressive 2.19 KDA, the highest in the entire tournament. With Charlotte wrapped up, our 16 teams are set going into Worlds, which will take place in 3 weeks' time in Seattle, Washington. Here's a breakdown of all the pools. Stay up to date with all your esports news right here on GGN. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. But what was your favorite part of HCS Charlotte? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.